What's up? Welcome back, everyone. You're here for another installment of, that's right, Firestorm at Home. Ooh, I'm super excited. I am Coach FreeLove, here to bring you tricking again. It's going to be a wonderful time. I think we're on episode 5 now, practicing a bunch of kicks. We're going to, firstly, make sure we have pretty open, clear space. Today, we will need quite a lot of space. We're going to be practicing some pretty big movements here within that space. So about what you usually have, we're just gonna say double it if you can. Obviously you can't just create more room, but I want you to expect that if you were using like a yoga mat like we started the series with as your main space for where you're practicing your kicks, we did expand a little bit more to about the size of almost a couch when we practiced our butterfly kick in the episode 3 or 4 there. But the idea here now is having a little bit more space. If we have it, great. If we don't, we'll just have to be very careful. So we're going to get started with our mobility just like we do on every episode, and take a nice wide stance. Keep in mind that you are going to need all that space, and start with your neck rolls. Nice, keep that going, just a few more. Keep your posture nice and strong. Nice, good. Make sure that we're not slouching or anything like that. Keep yourself up. We're gonna shoulder circle backwards now, just a few. And forward, just a few. And we're going to stick our arms out into a nice big old T pose. Big reach out to the extended ends of our reach. Nice. And forward circle. Try and keep the hands nearly level to the height of the chest and the shoulders. You guys may notice that I'm checking my posture here or there. I'm trying to quality assure, my movement. Watch it. If you guys have a reflective surface like a mirror somewhere around you, it's also a very good opportunity to use that to see yourself. And let's go backwards now. So big backwards circles, well, small rather, not big, but backwards nonetheless. Good stuff. All right, good. Go on ahead and drop those down. We're going to interlock our fingers and just roll our wrists just a little bit. I like to use the washing machine method here, and so we're going to go just a few circles one way and just a few the other, and go back and forth doing that. Today we won't really be using our wrists on the floor like we did in our previous episode. That was episode 4 with our transformer transition. It was a fun time. So just back and forth with those wrist rolls, nice clear open space. Making sure we've got all the room. Nice, shake out the wrist. We're going to move into our elbows. We're going to practice just one that I really like to do, where we start with what we refer to as like prayer hands, and keep those palms pressed together, really squeeze in. And as you do so, push the heel of your hand down towards your hips or towards your heels, and really bring the elbow in and up towards each other, and you should feel just a little bit of tension here as well as tension here, and a little in the forearm as well. So we're going to feel that down here, and keep the pressure in there. Then we're going to roll that forwards, and then turn it around at the bottom to the back of the hands, then bring the elbows down and the hands in towards the chest. Nice, and there we go. Go ahead and shake that out just a little bit. If you kept pressure in there that whole time, you should feel quite a bit of stretch in not just your wrist, but a little bit of warm up in your forearm and a little bit in your elbows too. Good stuff. Torso time, that's right, baby. Widen your stance. So now I'm about double my width that I was previously at. If I was at shoulder width, now I'm twice that. So we're going to slowly twist to our max, get there and hold it for 3 seconds when we do. So as you twist, turn and look all the way around, get there. Don't move your feet up off the ground, keep them planted, and get to your max, then hold it for 3, 2, 1, and untwist. Go to the opposite side now, same idea. 3, 2, 1, untwist. We're gonna do it once more on each side. So get in there, twist and really squeeze and hold it. Use those whole, like, real series of big back muscles. Oh my goodness. Feel like each muscle group is slowly contracting and pulling you in, finishing with the arms. And 3, 2, 1. Finish by untwisting. And again, contract all those muscle groups, big giant muscle group that is in the back and by the spine. Contract it slowly, piece by piece, to the upper back, and then the arms. And 3, 2, 1. Untwist. Nice. Alright, now use the arms, inspire a little bit of drive, momentum twist through your torso. A little bit faster. Nice. Woo. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do it once more. And out. Good. And let's roll our hips out. Nice big circles for our hips. Go ahead and keep them going. Try and isolate as much of your spine and your upper body as possible. I like to sometimes use my hands like a plate. Imagine that item above the plate is not allowed to move, like just my head, or I move them down to my chest, and everything below that should move. Maybe there's a little bit of shake here in the upper half. Move that down, try and isolate. Roll the hip, opposite direction. Move it down just to right above the hips. Yeah, of course, the whole body is going to move just a little bit. The goal is to isolate as much of it as possible. So really focus that pelvic circle and pelvic tilt, especially for all the tricking and all the kicking that we're going to do. Keep that stance nice and wide as we finish these. Stop. We're going to lean back. Just open the front of your hip flexor up. In fact, we're going to turn our toes outward just a little bit more. So if you were sitting forward, turn them out to 45. And if you can, just slightly outside of that 45 and lean back a little bit, squeeze the glute, and just stretch the front of the hip flexor for just a moment. We're going to be here for 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1, good. And now we're going to square the feet out like we're into going into a midway to a split, I'd say. Not too low, but just about halfway down. We're going to hold that there with the feet forward. We're going to squeeze, actually, really squeeze the inside of the thigh and the foot into the floor, like you're trying to bring your legs together under you. We're going to squeeze, and we're going to do that for 15 seconds. So get ready and squeeze for 1, 2, 3, keep breathing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not there, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, good. And we're gonna walk in just a few paces, just a little bit, toes, then heels, walk yourself in, feet out at a 45-degree angle, and we're gonna lunge to one side and turn that knee out by pushing on the inside of that knee. Hold it for a moment, lock the opposite leg, hold it for a moment, and then switch to the opposite side. Again, press that knee open and lock that knee down. Hold it for a moment, and then switch. We're gonna go back and forth. Taking it nice and slow as we go. Always mindful of our breathing. Good. And let's go into a nice wide horse stance for just a moment. Hips are down, chest is up, feet are out wide. Hold ourselves steady and strong. Where we're here, reach one arm up above your head and lean. Just like that, and hold it and lean and hold it. And then come up, stay down in that squat, and switch, reach, and lean. And up. Good, and lock out, and lock it in. Oh yeah, my hips are ready. Oh, so good, so ready. I'm excited. We're gonna do just a few more immobilizers for our knees and ankles, as well as our warm-up kicks. But that's right. So, feet knees together, squat, knee circle. I like to use the washing machine method, so back and forth as you see fit. I like to go a few circles each. I like to repeat that process several times until my clothes are clean. Sorry, washing machine joke. All right. Good. We're going to add on to our knee circles with just a little bit of a cool fun one that I like to do, where our knees are going to go together towards the front, then around and back to place. So here, together towards the front, then they open up and go around and back into place. We're going to do that just a few times and then do the opposite of that. So get on into it. Split knee circles. And opposite direction. Outside to inside if you guys were following me. Nice. Good stuff. That's a great one. You get to feel that in not just your hips, but you feel that in your knees and your ankles. A little bit in the ankles. So we're going to expand upon what we're feeling in the ankles and the toes, and then get into our, like I said, warm-up kicks. We're going to roll ourselves outward onto the blade of our foot. So I'm standing here just inside of my shoulder width now. Feet are together, not nearly touching, but like very nearly together. And I'm rolling my big toe up and setting it down. I'm going to continue with this process and kind of mimic it with my hands. It helps me actually, if I mimic it with my hands, it helps me to create movement with my feet. It's almost like a visualization thing, right? Nice, just keep breathing. That's a part of the calf that we don't always use, but we use very often in tricking. And we're going to use just the front side of the calf and the very arch of the foot for a few of our calf raises. So just go ahead and lift those heels up straight off the ground now. So instead of going to the blade like we were before, now we're up on the ball of the toe. Just doing our calf raise. It's going to be super important. Today's episode is going to be pretty jumpy. When I say that, I mean like we're working on quite a few things. We're going to be starting with our skip hooks, which is the act of kind of skipping our step over. So entirely skipping a transition step and going from kick A to kick B pretty seamlessly. So skip hooks are going to be a fun one. And following that, we're going to talk about our J step, which is the approach you use more often than not for swing throughs, and then we're going to talk about a little bit of swing through tech. So should be a pretty fun episode. Guys, we're going to get into those warm-up kicks. So without too much more, you have all the space that you need. Great, I have my space. I'm ready. I'm not going to kick any of my glass or any of my cool, fun entertainment system, anything like that. I'm mobilized. Take my casual fighting stance. We're going to start with a few front snaps with our back leg, and then a few roundhouses with that leg as well. I would like to connect the two of them pretty smooth. So we're going to go front snap and back, and front snap and back, and then roundhouse with a pivot and return, and then roundhouse again, pivot and turn. We're going to do it in series of twos. So front snap, roundhouse, roundhouse, front snap, roundhouse, roundhouse. And you guys will see that I use my hands as a visual for my feet often. Many trickers use that. I'm not the only one, I promise you. Either way, casual fighting stance, get ready, double front snap, double roundhouse, and repeat. Nice. Don't forget to keep breathing while you guys are doing the movement. I like to go in through my nose and out through my mouth when necessary. All right. Let's go ahead and give it a break there. Take a second, catch breath. Start with those movements on our opposite side now. So, switch, fighting stance, and you guys know me, I really do like to practice that stance change and make that a quick, dynamic thing that we can then use as a transition for our tricking later. So, keep that in mind always. We're gonna stance change, opposite side, 2 front snaps, 2 roundhouse, keep it going. Just a few more. Good. Going to hit those double kicks. Ooh, just a brief rest. Nice. We're going to do just a few more kicks to warm up our hips, then go get our first drink of water for today's class. So, taking that casual fighting stance. Nice deep breath in. Out. We're going to do a rear-legged axe kick, going from outside, or sorry, an inside axe kick, going from the outside, striking with the inside of the foot. So, again, here, back leg, just like that. I'm going to switch right away. So, what was my front leg is going to push back after my kick, and I'm going to go to my opposite side. And I'm going to continue with my opposite of my inside axe. So, casual fighting stance, ready, right, push it back right away, switch, now I'm going to strike again. And make sure that I come back, try and maintain my space as I do this. We're going to continue this pattern of axe kicks and stance changes. Let's get into it, guys. Good. Go on ahead and give that a rest. Hips should be nice and warm. Catch your breath. Deep breath in the nose and out the mouth. We're getting a sip of water, guys. I'm gonna get a sip of mine. Yeah. All right, guys, so welcome back. I needed that water. I'm sure you did too. I'm feeling good. I'm mobile. I've done 2 workouts before this one today. Feeling awesome. Gonna go on ahead and get some kicks in too. Now, practicing our first drill, not exactly a kick, it's just a drill. We're gonna take that casual fighting stance. You guys are gonna notice I'm kind of tucking myself over to one side of my open and available space because I am going to travel just a little bit. Not on purpose, too much. Really jumping wide is bad, so I'm not moving too far, just tucking over a little bit, so that way I'm centering my space still. So now here I am, casual fighting stance. I'm going to take a shift step, then I'm going to step over, just like I would normally, but this is a skip hook. We're practicing skip hook. So what we're going to do is carry this in a chambered position the whole time. So fighting stance, shift step, chamber over, and then I'm going to skip that step over. I'm going to skip that step down, and instead I'm going to pop off of this leg first, then deliver the hook first. Try and get that down, or try and get it at least started before I put that chambered leg over and onto the floor. So in slow, piece by piece, shift step, chamber over, skip, and try and deliver the hook as if not before the foot is dropping, right? So as the foot is dropping, or as early as possible before the foot drops, you're starting to deliver that kick. So we're skipping that transition point. That is still technically a transition all in its own. But we're going to go from that casual fighting stance, shift step, from that audience point of view, and now traveling laterally, shift step, chamber over, jump and hook. Trying to jump and deliver the hook as soon as possible. Again, it's a big old spinning hook, and that's why I slid myself over. So now I'm still centered in my space. Some of us have obstacles in our home that we have to be aware of. We don't want to damage anything, so we have to, carefully move ourselves. So casual fighting stance. We're going to do it just a few more times that drill. Shift step, carry over, deliver the kick. Nice. And again, then we'll do a few on our opposite side. We got time for that one, promise. So shift step, carry it over, skip, hook. Nice. All right. Now on our opposite side, it's important that you take this movement extra slow because we're trying to jump and really turn the hips. And it's the first time that you're really jumping and twisting. It's similar to the twist that you have from your butterfly kick we talked about in episode 3. So, casual fighting stance on that switch or opposite side. And now again, I've shifted myself over sideways towards the side of my space so I can still be centered as I shift step over. I'm going to carry this like I'm doing my step over, but instead, skip, hook, finish the movement, deliver the hook. And I'm trying to break it down as slow as I can, but in full speed, it's a lot easier. And don't forget to spot, like you guys saw me previously, strike the pole a few light, very spotted times. I'll be now not striking it, but striking over in the air. Still spotting an imaginary target like you should all be yourselves. Casual fighting stance, shift step, chamber it, deliver that skip, hook. Nice. Boy, I love me some skip hooks. Let's do a few more. Reset, fighting stance, shift step, carry it over, jump and hook. Now, the idea here is that we are able to, again, execute the delivery of the kick just slightly before the landing of that foot, before it hits the ground. Now, adding on to that just a little bit more, we're going to do a round skip hook. So back to our dominant fighting stance. Again, tucked over towards one side, mindful of which direction we're moving. Our round skip hook is going to require just what you'd think, a roundhouse beforehand. So where that was just chamber, we were learning kind of just the jump and the turn in the hips, where to expect the hook to come out. Now, we're going to roundhouse, Rechamber the round after we deliver the kick, and drop to that opposite, or skip to that opposite leg for that hook kick. So, done in slow, I'm going to deliver the round, rechamber, and carry it, just like I did before for the hook kick. And again, skipping the fact that I'm stepping over, that movement of the step over does happen, but now I'm entirely stepping the foot like to the opposite side of the movement, in that sense that it's not coming down first, it is coming down after I've done that whole step over movement and even my next kick. So, casual fighting stance, ready, deliver just a few, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Nice. So, casual fighting stance, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Try and stay on your toes, as light as possible. Reset, casual fighting stance, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Ooh, trying not to hurt ourselves on our furniture here. Nice. Fighting stance, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Ooh, goodness. Now, leaning is an important part of this movement. As I do it, I do have to lean over and lean back towards my backside just a little bit. The idea is that I can counter that by having my arms up or delivering the kick and really squeezing my obliques so that when I lean, I'm still upright, even though I'm leaning. So keep that in mind. You have to stay engaged the whole time. Let's try a few of the round and skip hook on our opposite side now. So, step on over, shift it, whatever the case may be. Switch, fighting stance, and shift, then round, rechamber, skip hook. Taking it nice and slow and spotting the target. Again, opposite sides are usually tricky, so give it the attention it deserves. Take its time. Practice it slowly until you feel like you've got it comfortably. Fighting stance, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Alright, getting that a little bit tighter, feeling a little bit more comfortable, more natural. Let's do it a few more times then. Fighting stance, shift step, round, rechamber, skip hook. Ooh. Now I'm dropping that foot for that round under me, instead of traveling over, trying to accommodate for my space as much as possible. And if you guys are able to pull that same little trick off, that's great, you should. It's pretty tough, but when you guys finish the round, instead of dropping it out and across and continuing to carry your body there, you're going to scoop the foot under you a little bit more. Something a little bit more like this. So now I'm scooping the foot under me. I'm going to demonstrate that a couple more times and from a few different places so we can practice that foot scoop for the end of that skip hook. Or for the end of that round before the start of that skip hook. So if I did the round here, I'm putting that foot under me just a little bit more. Right? And again, here, under me just a little bit. You can see my body has this natural inclination to kind of step back and move and turn the hips and continue that torque that that scoop under creates. That's super helpful for a lot of tricks later. So try and get used to scooping your roundhouse under you. That's going to help you for stuff like 540 kicks and, well, eventually like swing gainer and cheat gainers, all sorts of cool stuff, kick the moon. You guys are going to really enjoy those movements after you've practiced this little tricky one. So continuing just a few more of those. We'll do just a few on our dominant side and then a few on our non-dominant side, keeping in mind that foot scoop technique. We're going to try and scoop that foot under for these last few, the round skip hook. So fighting stance, dominant side, round and scoop it under you for the skip hook as well. Nice. A few more. Shift step and then round. once more, and then we'll do 3 on our opposite side. Shift step, round. So, opposite side. Shift step. Trying to get myself nearly in place as best as possible. Feeling a little better there. Let's do it last time, third time. Lucky number 3. And then we're going to move on to some of our next skills. Shift step. All right, good stuff, guys. Our next kick. That's right. Not even actually kick. It's our J step. So a lot of people have already got a bunch of tutorials up all over the place. Fortunately, unfortunately, we don't really have any tricking tutorials out. So you guys are kind of taking this one as not just kick workouts, but also it is tricking tutorials too. So the best thing that we can do for our J step is have enough space and consider it really like a 3-part action. So the 3 main steps for our J step are going to be our setup, and then our post, and then the last step is our leg swing, right, which is not actually a step. So it's physically 2 steps, but it's a 3-part process. So I'm going to set up, and now my right leg is my dominant leg. It's the one that kicks the ball in. So that's the one that sets me up. And so I step out essentially into a lunge, and about 90 degrees out of this lunge, there's a straight line that my feet are making, right, from here to here. About 90 degrees outside of that, and about this distance, maybe slightly more than this distance away, is where I'm going to step for my second step of my 3-part process for J step. So I'm going to turn my foot outward as if my toe is drawing the letter J. So if I started here, feet were together, and my first part, step 1, is my setup. Then step 2, my second part, is technically my inside J step. Here, here. Where my leg swings kind of over that 90-degree line that we were talking about, that we were imagining. Swings over it a little bit, turns outward, plants on it. And part 3, it's not a step, it's the swing and the jump here. So I'm going to take this leg, it's now in a loaded position, it's way back behind me. My arms are going to be back there with that leg as well. And after those 2 steps, 1 and 2, my setup and essentially my blocking step and my J step all at the same time, I'm going to swing my arms and my back leg up for the 3rd part, jumping in that. So taking it from the top, standing, step 1, setup, step 2, J, and out turn and get it ready for blocking, because the part 3 is the swing and the jump, right? And so that's your J step and that's your swing setup. So we're going to practice our J step by not actually doing the jump and instead just doing the leg swing, like we're kicking, like we're doing a big old front snap or a big straight-legged axe kick. But raising that heel up off the ground instead of keeping it down like we're used to. Let's reset, do a few of our J step together. Remember, it's a 3-part process, 2 steps only for right now, because we don't have all the room to run. Later, when you have more space, you can take extra steps into those last 2 steps that we are taking, right? I can take any number of steps into my setup, my J step, and blocking point, right? Whew. So I'm swinging my right leg because it's the leg that kicks the ball. It's the one that's good. It's my dominant leg. So I'm going to set up with it, then block off my left. Ready? Make sure I have all the space I need. Big old stride into a step here for my setup, and go. That's it. Now I'm kind of mindful of my swing, trying not to punch anything, my ceiling included, but that's your J step and your swing. just your basic swing, 2. We're going to do a few more of our J-step. Let's do it together. Set, reset, full reset. All right, set up and J and block and hop. That's the kind of best way to think about it. Let's go for it. Let's do a few more together. Good, I think I found my spacing, which is important. It takes the first few to do so. But now I found my spacing, I can start to work my balance and add a little bit more power for these next few, or our final few on this side here. We're not really going to practice our swing on our non-dominant side, because we're going to add a trick into it and keep moving it forward just a little bit more. So let's get in there. Good, feels good. I could probably pull a cheat gainer in here, but I'm not gonna, because my fan is expensive. So, know your limits. Know your cost. Good. And said one more, and then feel confident moving on. Nice. Whew. Felt my hip pop. That was great. Feeling nice. Ready to add on to it. So we're going to do J-step, swing, round after this water break. We're going to get a quick sip. I'm going to get some water. You guys get yours. Go. All right, guys, come on back. Nice. Woo. I don't know about you guys, but I really needed that water. It was super refreshing. Helped to get me ready for, like I was saying, we're adding on to that J-step and that swing. We're going to do a swing round. Sit. It's going to be super fun. And then we can even do that swing round into a skip hook. That's right. Progressions on progressions. Boy, we got them. So let's set ourselves up for our J-step. From this big back set open space, I'm able to take those 2 steps and swing my leg, go airborne. But now here's the trick. If I do a kick, when I chamber and I pull my leg in, my body tilts or it falls off axis just a little bit. So when I do the kick, it's tricky. It really is. So that is my swing round. I have to swing up fairly straight-legged to start, and then I turn myself into my hip turn and chamber position. So we've practiced that a lot. Now actually in episode 1, one of the things that I had you guys practice was literally just this. So we've practiced that hip turn. We're going to swing up and do that hip turn at the peak of our reach. So I'm hitting this right leg swing and I'm hitting it hard. Not hard enough that I accidentally flip over or slam into anything, of course. But I'm hitting it hard enough that I'm going to get lift out of it. If you don't kick for a lift, you're not kicking at all. So let's kick for some lift. Then re-chamber or pull that leg in, pull that heel in by your butt, and turn the hips over. Right? Pulling into that chamber, turning yourself over, you're able to step down out of it, and without executing the kick, demonstrate just that little bit of step down. So we don't have to get so crazy by throwing it all together. We can do just the standing, swing up to chamber and turn. Then add the round to that little bit that we just did. Right? I didn't really get too much of a chamber in there. That was more of an extension, just a straight leg extension. So we're going to do it one more time. Nice big chamber before the round. Nice. So that just building it up, building it up, building it up, working on just this small part of it if you need to, if this isn't making sense. Those are the key points. We got to get the hip up, We gotta get the hip turned. We gotta do that while using that chamber, because that helps us to pull those other two things off. Then demonstrate the round, finish the movement, get used to spotting, jumping, and twisting all off of the one leg and then kicking with the other one. Let's reset and do it a few times at full speed together. Reset. J-step, swing, round. It's not too bad. A few more. Nice. Good. Taking your time to really execute the chamber and the turn really helps to define the kick at the end. So, just, we'll say one more together for the sake of brevity. It's a good time. So, nice reset. And again, we're practicing the J-step approach for a swing through, and then performing a roundhouse kick from our swing through takeoff. And that is how you would like to think about all of this as a combo, as a small series of moves done together. Alright, sick. Feeling good, looking good. That's right, that's you, Summer, talking to you.
Oh.
That's right. No, talking to all of you guys too. Even though I can't see you, I'm sure that if you guys have been following along, you're looking good just like that. Now, we're gonna spice it up some more. That's right. We are going to add just one more little dash of flavor on top of that. And that's that. It's gonna be our swing through and our skip hook pretty much all together. So we did talk about our skip hook already. We've talked about, like I said, our J-step and our swing through just a little bit. We're gonna get ourselves kind of in the mentality now of more like a cheat gainer, which is almost everyone's first swing through movement. Some people refer to it or its variation as a swing side, and there's a lot of really cool and interesting swing through movements that we can do. But this is one of your first ones I think that you guys should have. That's going to be your swing, round, skip hook. And it kind of, the end of it will feel almost like a butterfly kick, which is why we talked about that in a previous video. So you kind of have a little bit of experience for the end of this movement, what you guys should be feeling. Now be mindful, I will not be executing my hook kick at full capacity on some of these kicks. I'll be holding it in and finishing with a chambered hook instead, because I don't want to accidentally strike something. Now, and that's because I know my space. I only have so much space and I can only demonstrate so much movement. I'm going to set myself up, nice big reset for my J-step. From here, I'm going in just like I would usually. When I swing for this round, I want to immediately start thinking about the fact that I'm already hopping. I'm already hopping. This foot is already coming off the ground. So the act of swinging for this round and turning this hip over, I'm going to have to add them to each other, and it's going to have to happen pretty quickly, pretty simultaneously. Now earlier you saw me lift my leg. Instead of chambering it around, I lifted it with a straight leg round. That was an accident. That was a happy accident because it's super helpful in performing this movement that we're working on. So our swing, round, skip hook is going to be done mostly straight-legged to start. And we can exaggerate it by doing, like we did, just the straightforward swing setup from our previous setup drill. So now I'm here, we'll say in my takeoff stance, right? I've stepped in step one, I'm on step two, feels almost like fighting stance, right? Oh, voodoo. Deja vu. Now, we're going to, when we swing through, I'm going to swing this leg up to extend it in the straight, and then I'm going to essentially replace it with this one afterwards. So the movement will look like this. Here, and then when I swing up and I turn, this leg will replace this one. Now it's going to carry out in a cross because that's the natural arc that it's going to follow, like a hook. But you guys can see it's more of a straight line movement where one leg is following the other straight through for the most part. Again, back further, not accidentally kicking anything at home. Right, trying to take it slowly makes it kind of challenging, but you guys can see that the end of that is very similar to a butterfly kick, where I'm stepping over stepping down and spinning outwards. So having that, again, helps you create this sense of familiarity. Moving into it with the J step, adding the momentum, the swing, the turn, the fact that you're no longer straight here, but instead that you'll actually be arcing over in a slight angle, is going to help to increase your capability in performing this movement. So let's set up, reset, get ready for it. We're going to give it just a very weak, very soft sort of J step and swing through, and practice that straight leg drill like we did, but with a little bit more hip turn than the previous practice. So, soft approach. Right, just like that. Nothing too crazy. I didn't even lift all the way up to a 90-degree lift with my leg swing or with my exchange on my opposite leg. Let's try it again. So, reset, center ourselves, figure out what you're spotting, because spotting is still super helpful as we perform both of these movements here. And when I say both of these movements, I mean kick one and kick two. There are kind of kicks. So, set up. Ooh, ooh, careful. Hopping over a little bit to not kick anything. All right, just a few more. Getting used to the movement, helping you guys to see it as well. Nice. Set up, set, J step, post, swing, kick, kick, and turn. I'm trying to go airborne with this movement, entirely off the floor. So, get into it. That's it. That's it. I'm not really even delivering my kick right now. I'm just kind of doing that leg swing drill. But I'm really getting my body used to the aerial awareness aspect of the one leg takeoff and the twist. And you guys could imagine, I'm sure, how this eventually translates into stuff like a corkscrew, right? Or a little bit more high level movements like that, where these more basic ones that we can practice even in our living room for most of us, sometimes in a dining room or a bedroom. But no matter what, we have a little bit of space, like a 10-foot by 6-foot sort of rectangle, and you can pull it all off, you know? So if you guys have enough space at home, just a few more of those, and then we're gonna start with our stretches. Ooh. We're getting that leg ready right off the takeoff, right off the jump. It's already turning into that hook almost. Now, if you guys are feeling it and you're feeling comfortable, we can go ahead and add the round and the hook as more defined movements by spotting, doing a slight chamber and a slight snap into those kicks on each leg, finishing that movement as much as we possibly can given our space and our circumstances. So, let's give it a shot comfortably as you may feel. Gotta stop myself sometimes because I'll be hurting myself on that. Alright, so guys, we are going to start to wind down now. If you guys want to, you can stop now, practice all the previous video like that had just played before. You can run back and play it back. Practice it on your opposite side. Take the time to do so. But at this point, I've shared with you all of the next steps on our dominant side, and it's entirely up to you to do it on your non-dominant side. So if you guys want it, you'll do it. And if you don't want it, it's not for you. And that's up to you. And literally only you. So you guys either do it or don't. Either way, we're going to take this as the moment where you can pause it, and you can come back to it, because we're going to start our stretches and get a quick little sip of water. So if you guys want that water, we're going to take that now. I'm going to go get that. Oh yeah, oh yeah, so hydrated, so nice, so good, so ready, so ready, so ready. Oh, I'm ready, Mr. Krabs. I'm ready to stretch. Jeez. So, I hope you guys are hydrated and ready for stretches as well. A super important part of your muscular flexibility is, well, how well hydrated they are. So if you didn't get water, do it. And that was the last stream of the day. So if you guys are feeling like you want to, I don't know, throw on another stream and do another workout, then go ahead. Great. But if you guys are just following us day by day, doing them as they come out, drink a bunch of water in this last water break because we're going to finish up with our stretches and we're going deep for today's stretches in our hips. So we're going to start by sliding out into a side-to-side split. As comfortable as you can go, as deep as you comfortably can. Look, deep, deep, deep. Slide it out. Get low. Use your hands to support yourself if you need to or as you need to. And we're going to try and pull our toes up off the ground. Slide into our heels. Keep yourself up. Keep yourself breathing. And point your toes. And it should be slightly uncomfortable, like having to take class with me for an hour. I get it. Good. And we're going to bring one knee down. Turn that whole foot so that the top of the foot is down on the ground nice and flat. Turn this opposite leg out. Keep that nearly in a split as deep as you comfortably can. Square out your hips by pulling yourself into a tighter alignment. Pulling your hips square. Like so. Good, and point those toes. And flex them. See if you can slide that front foot a little further at that flex. Without coming out of those squared hips. Good. Let's keep that flex. Keep the tension on the front end of the bottom of the leg here. And that hamstring back to the knee. Let's try and bring our chest down lower. Good. And bend that leg in. Bring it in. Oh my goodness. Nice. We're going to do it on the opposite side now. So set that leg out. Slide the opposite one through. Get that foot out in front of you. Nice and wide, just like before. And we're going to start with those toes pointed for that, essentially that split reach. Toes pointed. And make sure you keep those hips squared. Good. And flex the feet. And in that flex, drop the chest. Really expand that hamstring stretch there. Good. And bring it back in and through. Nice. We're going to go ahead and kind of rest on our heels. Keep our feet and our knees together. Rest on our heels for just a moment. Stretch out the quads by leaning back as much as you can comfortably. This is about all I've got in that lean. Some of you have got more, and I'm very proud of you. That's all I've got. Giving her all she's got, Cap. Good, and then come on back up out of that. We're going to flex our feet now instead of toes pointed. Feet flex, sitting on our heels still. And we're just going to sit on them, sit up over them. Just like that. Really stretch out the arch of the foot. Stretch out the Achilles tendon a little bit. Get some toe stretch in there. We're going to go palms flat to the floor. We're going to increase that stretch ever so slightly by just lifting our knees off the ground a little bit. So we were down here. Now we're here. Good, and come out of that, turn on over and take a seat in pike. Nice. Now here, we're just going to point and flex our feet just a few times. Draw the blood back down and through our legs. Just a few flexing points, keep them going. Good. We're going to go ahead and slide our hips over towards our heels, lay flat on our back. We're going to pull one leg in and keep one leg out. So keep the one leg planted as it is, and pull the opposite leg in to a nice little tuck here. We're going to pull this knee towards the side of the body here in the rib cage area and the armpit, and pull the hip open slightly. You guys can grab towards the middle of the leg with that matching arm, like we're in a hyper tuck or a cowboy tuck. You can even add with that opposite arm the push into the knee to get it towards the armpit more as you pull it in. Good, and then we're gonna switch, set that foot back in place, keep it planted, it's down, so the knee comes in towards our chest. I'm grabbing the middle of that shin and calf. I'm gonna pull it over to the side and in even more, and then I'm gonna reach over and add to that just a little bit more while keeping that opposite leg planted, and it's even gonna lean outward a little bit to counterbalance me. Good, and reset them back together. We are going to flip back over and do an inverted butterfly. So, laying flat on our stomach. We're going to slide our knees out to the sides. Pick our hips up in between our knees. And keep ourselves squeezed nice and strong in here. I don't want you relaxing, not sitting on your heels. We're keeping ourselves up and squeezing nice and tight. We're going to hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And go ahead and come down onto your forearms. And push your hips back. And then lay your chest down nice and flat. It's like a child's pose. And just make sure you guys keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good. Pick yourself up. Slowly bring your legs together behind you. One at a time. And we're going to do a seal stretch. So, hands under our chest. Push up. Seal stretch, seal end stretch, ceiling stretch. Lots of different names. Lots of good fun. Good. And cat stretch. Push the hips up and back. And then chest down, arms out. Good, and come on out of that cat stretch. We're going to go ahead and walk ourselves back on up to the top. Stand up nice and slow. Don't stand up too fast. You don't want to get that blood rush and then fall over and get fainty and dizzy. So that's why I say stand up nice and slow. Especially after a lot of fairly deep stretches like we were doing for our hips. That's really the goal. And if you guys didn't already, like I said, pause it, go back, do your opposite side. Just give the whole video a rewatch and then treat it like your dominant side is your non-dominant side, or vice versa, your non-dominant is your dominant side. You get what I'm saying. Either way, you guys, practice your kicks for your own good. Remember, these are for exhibition, not for combat striking. It does look really cool, and if you want to scare someone off from a fight, it might work, but we're not teaching you how to hurt someone, guys. So, keep that in mind. We want to be fun and friendly and acrobatic in our workouts. It's fun fitness. I hope you guys enjoyed your workouts today. It was a lot of talking, but that was because it was a lot of more, serious pieces and bits that you guys need now that we're getting towards the very end of our tricking stream. We only have one episode of tricking left. So I hope that you guys are excited as I am for our finale of tricking at home. You guys, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever it is that you feel necessary. Just go ahead and make sure that you also hit that notification bell so you guys can see our content. Bye guys.